Beautiful people, welcome to Self Love Lexi. In this video, part 2, we're going to be discussing 7 spiritual tips that I have learned along my journey. If you guys don't know, I first had my spiritual awakening when I was 14 years old, prime COVID. I went from a depressed, suicidal, anxious teenager to somebody eventually who loves life and who brings love and light into her day every day. So let's get straight into the video. First thing, every emotion, including pain, is beautiful, and you should integrate it. I feel like everybody is running away from emotions, from pain, to the point where they go on antidepressants to numb themselves. As somebody who's been numb, it's not worth it. Look, we are blessed with the ability to feel. To feel means that we are alive. To feel pain, even just physical pain, means that we are breathing and living. Now, to feel emotional pain means that you are a soul, that you are human, because there are narcissistic people who have had terrible traumatic experiences, who have numbed themselves out, and who can't feel emotion. The miracle and the blessings it is that we have emotion to feel, that is beautiful, beautiful. And so while pain and heartbreak and jealousy might feel uncomfortable to feel, that's the point. Because when you are in uncomfortability, you grow. You cannot grow in comfort. It's impossible. You have to step out of your comfort zone to grow. So that's why you should really fully integrate these emotions into your life and feel what you need to feel. Being happy all the time, first of all, isn't even realistic. We are humans who have emotions. Second of all, it isn't fundamental to your growth. You should be wanting to feel these things in your life to grow. Thirdly, every single emotion is a teacher. When you are happy, that is a teacher to show you what you should be pursuing more. When you are angry, it shows you what you need to work on more. When you're jealous, it shows you what you want and how you can achieve that. When you are heartbroken, it shows that you are capable of love. All of these emotions show you a specific part of yourself, and you can integrate these lessons into your life and grow as a person. I used to be somebody who hated showing vulnerability and emotion because I grew up with a father who told me that that was wrong, who told me that being vulnerable was being weak. And I grew up not even being able to say sorry, not even being able to cry in front of people. And throughout my spiritual awakening, I've learned that vulnerability is one of the strongest characteristics a man or woman can have. And to integrate this in life, because it is beautiful. It is beautiful. Being vulnerable is a part of human nature. And it's humanizing, you know? You look at somebody who's in a state of vulnerability and you want to protect them and you want to help them because that's innate. That is what we do. Second tip is be grateful for everything in your life. Now you might look at me and be like, why would I be grateful for da 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 da? Well, gratitude brings on 10 times more that thing. So for example, I was recently heartbroken, okay? And I was on the floor crying. And I looked up to the universe and God, and I was like, thank you. Thank you for bringing somebody in my life who I could love so deeply that their presence hurts. Thank you for allowing me to feel emotion for another person. Because again, I used to be numb. I wasn't on any medication, and I was numb because I numbed myself out from all the trauma I've experienced. And so I was just in this pain, sitting in this discomfort, thanking God for it. Be grateful for every single meal you eat, because people are starving and do not have food to eat. Be grateful for the clothes on your back, because some people do not have clothes that they can just wear and pick out. Okay, I get to pick out clothes every day, different clothes every day. Be grateful for everything. In the moment, it may not seem like much, but over time, it accumulates. and you will look at the world differently. You will have a different perspective of life. When you wake up and you're grateful for breathing, life gets so much better. I changed my life with gratitude. I used to be a very pessimistic person. In every single situation, I would always look for the worst possible thing. The worst thing I could see in it, I would see in it. The glass half empty. That's how I viewed the world. Through gratitude, I started to reinvent my perspective and view of life. And I saw everything glass half full. If I missed the bus, well, I wasn't supposed to go on it. I was supposed to go somewhere different because that's what the universe and God have in store for me. That person walked out of my life, thank goodness, because they were not meant to be in it. All of these things can drastically change your life. Third tip, the third thing that I learned is your perspective of the world is the world. Like we were just talking about the glass half full or the glass half empty, the way you view things is the thing. So say you have two people waking up and one person's like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited for today. Like I'm gonna ace everything. I'm gonna go into it so optimistically. Today's gonna be the best day ever. No matter what happens to that person, that day is the best day ever. If somebody wakes up and they're like, I hate today, I hate waking up, I hate breathing, I don't want to do this, I'm so tired, I'm so lazy, this is gonna be the worst day ever. No matter what happens, that day is going to be the worst day ever, because that is your perspective of life. For another example, I used to be somebody who was so afraid of abandonment. When people would leave me, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna find love, everybody hates me, I'm such a terrible person, da 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 da. And that became my reality because I believed that, because that was my perspective, that everybody just left. And then when I started integrating the new perspective of people who are meant to be in my life will be in my life. People left because they weren't meant to be in my life. Do you understand? There's a different way to view the world, and there's always an optimistic way and always a pessimistic way. There's no reality except what you think it is. Everyone's like, well, look at it realistically. Realistic reality is how I view my reality. My third thing that I've learned through my spiritual awakening is that everything happens for a reason. Everything. No matter what happens, who leaves, who comes in, your car broke down, your bike got stolen, your best friend died. It does not matter. It happened for a reason. And when you are able to look at it in that lens, let's take the most drastic thing that I just said, your best friend dying. You might look at me and be like, F you. Like, what do you mean that happened for a reason? If you look at it in the lens of they are now in heaven, they are now an angel looking over me and watching over me, that is such a different perspective that you can take. When things happen in life, they are meant to happen. Specifically when you look at it that way. If you look at life and you're like, well, life is against me. God hates me. Like, life is just not for me. Life will be not for you because that's how you look at it. But when you look at it in a way that everything happens for me, everything is always working out for me. No matter what happens, you know that it's to your best interest. It's to your best good. And so start integrating this in life. When hard things happen, when you are forced to deal with hard things, if you can just accept it and say, this is happening for a reason. This is happening for a reason. One of the things that I say all the time when things don't end up going as planned, I say, universe, show me how good this can get, because I know that this is happening for a reason. I know that it's meant to happen. I know that the people in my life who left were meant to be there in a season, meant to teach me what they taught me and then leave so I can bring in new people. And that's just my perspective. Another lesson I've learned is if you're not changing, you're choosing. So say you are stuck in this horrible negative mental loop and you keep saying to yourself, I can't get out of it, I can't do anything, life is not working for me, but you're not changing this, you are choosing it. If you are not changing the person you are choosing the person you are. Say you are somebody who does not like the way their body looks. They're not in shape. They're just very frustrated with how they look. And every day you complain about how you look rather than going out and making sacrifices and changes and eating healthier and going to the gym and moving, then you are choosing for your body to look the way that you hate. If you're somebody who are like, I hate gossiping. I hate people in my life who always talk shit about me. But you are staying in these friend groups where people are talking shit about you. You are choosing this. You are choosing it. Now this brings me to my last point. Everybody who was or is in your life was and is teaching you something. Okay? Even if it's just one lesson. I have learned multiple lessons from multiple people in the course of my lifetime. But some people are meant to be there for a season. Some people are meant to be there for the whole damn book. Some people are meant to be there for a chapter, for a sentence, for a word, for a day, okay? But whatever it is, be grateful for them being there. Be grateful that you got to learn a lesson. I've been hearing so much, oh, I wasted my time with this person. Time wasted doesn't even make sense. It's not true. It's not realistic. You don't waste time with people. You learn. You learn about yourself and what you like in other people. And you grow and you learn lessons. There's no such thing as time wasted with another person. It's not true. Say you were in a relationship for 5 years and you loved this person so much. And all of a sudden, things had to change. Y'all broke up. And you're like, well, damn, that was my person. I'm never going to find love again. That was my soulmate. If you just give up on everybody else and close your heart off to the other possibilities available to you, and you look at those 5 years as a wasted time, wasted life, then you are closing yourself off to the opportunities and the wisdom and the knowledge that you could gain from that relationship, including with yourself. You learn so much about yourself in relationships, what your triggers are, what you like, what you don't like, things you need to work through and heal through, so many things that heartbreak and relationships and friendships open your eyes to. And so when you're closing that off, you are unable to gain that wisdom that you would if you had an open perspective. Everyone in your life is a teacher. Everybody. Whether it's the person that you walked down the hallway and smiled at each other once. They taught you that smiling feels good. Everybody teaches you a different lesson. Some people teach you the same lesson if you haven't learned it. Some people come into your life, same person, different font, and teach you the exact same thing until it's honed in, until you got the lesson. Even so, when you are jealous of another individual, that is a lesson. That is a teacher. It highlights a part of you that you want to change. So for example, say you are jealous of somebody who has a loving family, okay? Because you're somebody who grew up with a broken family. This highlights the part of you that wants the loving family. And so what you can do is create the loving family within yourself, okay? Another example was when I was younger, I always used to be jealous with girls with long hair because my whole life I had really short hair. My hair it grows now, it's growing, but it used to not grow. And so when I was going through my spiritual awakening, I realized that this highlighted a part of me that did not feel as confident and didn't feel like I looked like these other girls. Why? Because my hair wasn't long. What did that mean? Well, it meant that I wasn't as feminine as these girls. What did that mean? Well, it meant that I wasn't as desirable as these girls. What did that mean? Well, it mean that men didn't want me as much as these girls. What did that mean? And you know what I'm saying? And it kept going and going and going and going and going until you find a pinpoint, the very spot that triggers you, which is usually deep and misunderstood in yourself. So when you are jealous or competing with another person, take that as a lesson. Take that as a love and take it with love and baby yourself and go into a mode of, okay, what does this mean? What does this mean for me? And that's how you can really, 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 really love yourself to the fullest, specifically when you are in a mode of jealousy. Anyways, that's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed as much as I enjoyed making it. This is part 2. There is going to be one more part. So if you are interested in learning more about the wisdom and the knowledge that I carry through my spiritual awakening, please go watch that. Mwah.